Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something seriously exciting and honestly a little surprising, the all-new 2026 Suzuki e-Vitara. Now if you've been following the EV space, you probably didn't expect Suzuki to come out swinging like this, but here we are. This is their boldest step yet into the electric future, and I have to say, it shocked me. But as impressive as this car is, there's one big catch we need to talk about, so stick around for that. First impressions matter, and the e-Vitara definitely delivers on that front. It still carries the familiar Vitara DNA, but everything feels sharper, more modern, and much more premium than what we're used to from Suzuki. The front end is completely reimagined with a closed-off grille, sleek LED headlights, and a futuristic light bar that stretches across. It looks clean, confident, and very much like a proper EV rather than just a converted petrol SUV. From the side, you'll notice a strong stance with bold character lines and a slightly coupe-like roofline that adds a sporty touch. The wheel arches are pronounced, giving it that rugged SUV look, while the aerodynamic alloy wheels remind you this is built for efficiency as much as style. Around the back, you get connected LED taillights and a sculpted tailgate that gives it a premium finish. Overall, it feels like Suzuki has finally stepped into a higher design league. Step inside, and things get even more interesting. The cabin is a massive upgrade from previous Suzuki models. You're greeted with a clean, minimal dashboard dominated by a large floating infotainment screen and a fully digital driver display. The materials feel much better than before, with soft touch surfaces, metallic accents, and a general sense of quality that you wouldn't normally associate with Suzuki. The seats are comfortable and supportive, designed for long journeys, and there's plenty of space for both front and rear passengers. Rear legroom is decent, and headroom is good despite the slightly sloping roofline. The flat floor, thanks to the EV platform, makes the rear bench even more practical for 3 passengers. Tech-wise, the e-Vitara is surprisingly loaded. You get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a premium sound system, a 360-degree camera, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and a full suite of safety features. There's also a new user interface that's actually quite intuitive, which is a big step forward for Suzuki. Everything feels modern, responsive, and easy to use. Now let's talk about performance, because this is where things get really interesting. The e-Vitara is built on a dedicated electric platform, which means it's not just an adapted petrol car. That's a big deal. It comes with multiple battery options, with the larger pack offering a range of around 500 kilometers on a full charge, depending on driving conditions. Power output is expected to be in the range of 150 to 200 horsepower, which might not sound insane, but remember this is a compact SUV. The instant torque from the electric motor makes it feel much quicker than the numbers suggest. Acceleration is smooth, linear, and surprisingly punchy, especially in city driving. One of the standout features is the availability of an all-wheel drive system. Yes, Suzuki is bringing its legendary all-grip expertise into the electric era. This means better traction, improved off-road capability, and more confidence in different driving conditions. It's not a hardcore off-roader, but for light trails and rough roads, it should perform really well. Driving the e-Vitara feels refined and composed. The low center of gravity, thanks to the battery placement, improves stability and handling. Body roll is minimal, and the steering feels light but precise enough. For everyday driving, it's clearly tuned for comfort rather than aggressive performance, but that's exactly what most buyers in this segment want. Charging is another important aspect, and the e-Vitara supports fast charging. You can go from around 20% to 80% in under 30 minutes with a DC fast charger, which is pretty standard for this class. Home charging will obviously take longer, but overnight charging should easily give you a full battery for the next day. Now let's talk about practicality, because this is still a Vitara at heart. Boot space is decent, though slightly compromised compared to the petrol version due to battery packaging. However, the flat loading floor and wide opening make it easy to use. There are also clever storage spaces throughout the cabin, including a spacious center console and multiple charging ports. Running costs are where this car really shines. Being an EV, you save significantly on fuel, and maintenance costs are generally lower as well. No oil changes, fewer moving parts, and regenerative braking that reduces wear on the brakes, all of this adds up over time. So far, everything sounds pretty impressive, right? Stylish design, modern interior, good range, decent performance, and practical features. This is where I was genuinely surprised. Suzuki has managed to create an EV that feels competitive, not just affordable. But now we need to talk about the big catch. The biggest issue with the 2026 Suzuki e-Vitara is pricing and positioning. While Suzuki has always been known for affordability, this new electric model is expected to come in at a significantly higher price point than the traditional lineup. And that puts it in direct competition with more established EV players who already have a strong foothold in the market. For many buyers, Suzuki has always been about value for money. If the e-Vitara ends up being priced too close to premium competitors, it could be a tough sell, especially in markets where charging infrastructure is still developing. And that brings us to the second part of the catch: infrastructure. In regions where EV charging networks are not yet fully developed, owning an electric vehicle can still be a challenge. Range anxiety, limited charging stations, and longer charging times compared to refueling a petrol car are still real concerns for many people. Another point to consider is brand perception. While Suzuki is trusted and reliable, it's not yet seen as a leader in electric vehicles. Convincing buyers to make the jump to an EV, especially at a higher price, will require not just a good product, but also strong after-sales support and charging solutions. Despite these challenges, I genuinely believe the e-Vitara is a huge step in the right direction for Suzuki. It shows that the brand is serious about electrification and capable of producing a modern, competitive EV. If Suzuki can get the pricing right and continue to improve its EV ecosystem, this car could become a very popular choice, especially in markets where compact SUVs dominate. So, what's the final verdict? The 2026 Suzuki e-Vitara is impressive, surprisingly so. It looks great, feels modern, drives well, and offers all the features you'd expect from a new generation electric SUV. It's a car that proves Suzuki can compete in the EV space. But that one big catch, pricing and infrastructure, could determine whether it becomes a success or just another interesting attempt. If you're someone looking to switch to electric and you value practicality, comfort, and reliability, the e-Vitara is definitely worth considering. Just make sure it fits your budget and your local charging situation. That's it for today's review. Let me know in the comments what you think about the new Suzuki e-Vitara. Would you consider buying one, or are you waiting for something else? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.